Hey guys, Gage from GHG Gaming here. I'm recording this because I didn't have audio for the first part of this pack opening video I'm doing, so I'm just letting you guys know that I'm gonna do a voiceover here. I'll make sure to post that and add that on to the highlights of the pack opening. Basically, just sold a bunch of players, got up to 500k plus stubs, and then bought a whole bunch of standard packs that I'm gonna be ripping through. I'll continue the audio from this point, but I'll go ahead and voice over the part that wasn't there before. But we'll go ahead and hop in. All right, so hopping right in here. I know in my intro I was just kind of going over what I did. I might have mentioned it before, but basically just sold a bunch of cards that were in my inventory, getting prepped for MLB 20. No real need to hold on to a bunch of cards that I'm not going to use, so went through, decided to do a big, huge pack opening. As you can see in the top right, I got 514,000 stubs. Put those all into packs. I think I bought a few 50 bundles, and then there's like a 10 bundle in there, and then I bought like a couple packs individually. But so basically, I think we ended up with 514 standard packs. I decided to do just a standard pack opening. Those are my favorite ones to pull, and I know they were really good this year. But we opened up, like I said, 514 packs. There's 10 Ballin' as a Habit packs. I decided to open a Ballin' as a Habit, every 50 packs. Somewhat through the video, after I had gone through, I want to say like 25-30 minutes of opening packs, I finally decided that maybe I should just make this a two-parter, which I'm definitely going to do. I stopped right around 250. So as we get into the first pack here, like I said, first pack, first diamond. I mean, I was ecstatic about it. It's been a while since I opened packs, and the diamond animations are just so beautiful in 19. So I was really happy to get one right off the bat. So we'll bring them out here. So we got pitcher here. I know it's 2,275 strikeouts, 2.39 ERA, 1 WHIP. Saw Dodger Stadium, immediately knew it was Kershaw. I pulled him, a few times with all the packs I've opened this year. So, great start to the pack opening here, pulling Kershaw right off the bat. So go ahead and bring him in from the right as you see him flipping in. There he is, Clayton. What an absolute stud. I mean, a guy that I've grown up watching. He's definitely been part of the, for my generation, born in 99, he's been one of the best players that I've been been fortunate to watch. Dude's an absolute monster. And, I know he's not great in the playoffs, but, I mean, regular season-wise, the dude's, can't really compare to anybody else for his time. So we'll, hop into, at the end of, part one, and then I'll continue that in part two, too, as well as we pull Justin Turner there. A guy that I think started the season as a diamond, or I might be thinking of 18, but I know that he's definitely been a diamond in the past, so maybe he can get back to that status next year. Jet Bandy, not great, but, Oh, and just as I say that, pull Josh Bell here. What a great season he had last year, really coming onto the scene. All-star, hit a ton of home runs. As we pull A.J. Pollock there, former Diamondback. I live in Arizona, so I know that he was that was a big killer for him going to the Dodgers in the offseason. But, baseball is a business, and as I'm saying this, yesterday was the Mookie Betts trade, and I know that I referenced that in the video too. What a huge trade that was. Mookie Betts going to the Dodgers. Interesting to see how he'll do with them. As we get another gold here, Yuli Gurriel for the Astros, and I think at this point I was talking about the big scandal that the Astros are in. Obviously in the offseason, and anybody that knows baseball obviously knows what occurred with Hinch and their general manager. I can't remember his name, but I know them getting suspended, and then obviously the organization deciding to let them go after the whole sign stealing incident. And I know I've read things that say sign stealing happens all the time, but I what they did is something super shady. And I know that Cora, when he was working with them, he ended up getting busted too. And there's Beltran took the Mets job and ended up having to resign just because he was part of that whole play. He played on that team in 17 that won the World Series. But as far as sign stealing goes, I mean, everybody does it, but it's how you do it that really matters, and what shouldn't be punished, and what the Astros did with putting the as it was speculated, putting the camera in center field and then relaying that to the batters. I thought that was pretty shady. And being a guy that's a Mariners fan, I've grown up a Mariners fan. You have to watch them play the Astros now that they're in the same division for the past however many years it's been. But it's just really unfortunate that, they had to go around and do that, because they have a bunch of stud players, and I remember I talked about that in the video too. I mean, guys like Springer, Correa, Altuve, I mean, those guys are studs. I don't know why they need feel the need to have the extra jump. And I still think even with the whole, scandal that happened, they went out and got Dusty Baker. I think that they'll end up, as we pull another gold there, Jose Abreu. What a great consistent player all around that he's been for the White Sox. But anyway, with them picking up Dusty Baker, I still think that they'll be in contention for the division for sure. I know that the A's are always good every year, and they could definitely give the Astros a run for their money. But the thing about the A's is they always start off so slow, and then they just pick it up. So pull another diamond here. I didn't know when it was coming, but we got another diamond here as we go ahead and go through the animation. 107 home runs, 326 RBIs, and 900 OPS. And then at this point, shows Chicago, so I knew it was only going to be one of two players. It was either going to be Chris Bryant or Javi Baez, and knowing that Baez doesn't have that many home runs, I had to go with my boy KB, and we went ahead and we brought him in from the left, I believe. Yep, and I think he's actually coming in like a, in crisscross applesauce. There he is, Chris Bryant. And I know that he had some off-season stuff too. I know he was filing a grievance for service time that didn't get accepted, but that dude's an absolute stud. And I guess with that grievance, I don't know if he'll be staying with the Cubs, how much longer. I don't know how his contract looks, but definitely a guy that if he ever decided to go to the Mariners, which I doubt that he ever would be somebody that they'd love to have and somebody I'd love to see put on that uniform. So we hop into pack number 466 here. 465, like I said, tried to, and another diamond, 2 within 3, that's right, I remember now. So now we're at 3 total. And this one, if I'm not mistaken, is another position player, 83 home runs, 191 RBIs, a player that I've pulled quite a bit this year with all the packs that I've opened up, but an absolute stud in real life. And, with the Yankees, I knew it wasn't Stanton, because Stanton has way more home runs than that, and I knew it was going to be Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, an absolute monster. As we went ahead and brought him in from the top as he comes down. There he is, Big Aaron, the Judge. But dude is, really, really good. And all around, too. It's not just the bat, but, watching him hit home runs is just so much fun to watch. And, if Stanton can put together a full year next year, watching those two together will be very exciting. And I know that I believe that as we open up the first ball and as a habit pack here, get the double gold, Chad Green and Liam Hendricks. And I know that I talked about Hendricks saying how, he started off this year so bad last year, and then when he came back, I think he got sent down, and then they brought him back up, and he was, one of the most dominant bullpen arms for the rest of the year. Dude was really good. And going back to what I was saying about Judge and the Yankees, I referenced in the video that I believe that the Yankees are going to be the team to beat this year. I think it's really their series to lose as we pull Be Our God Ryan Schimpf. But, with the additions that they made last year, being able to retain those players this year, as well as, picking up Garrett Cole, me being a Mariners fan, watching Garrett Cole, the dude is just absolutely dominant, and when he's going to put on those pinstripes, it's not going to change. The dude throws absolute gas. He's got really good command of the strike zone, and adding him with Severino, who can hopefully put together a full year next year, and they got Paxton from the Mariners. He's a really consistent arm if he can stay healthy. Like I said, I think it's really their season to lose, but I'll be happy to see, because I know I'm not the biggest Yankees fan. I'll be happy to see if any other team can bring them down, but they're definitely my favorite to win it all next year. And in the NL, typically I'll just go with the Dodgers, because I know that they pretty much just dominate, except for last year. I think it was pack 452. Go ahead and hop into the animation here. I love the animation so much. I know I said it earlier, but just the way that they added that to the game this year. I remember day one, I pulled Mike Trout this year, and watching that animation, I was ecstatic. What they did with standard packs this year was really cool too, with making it more accessible to get diamonds, because I know in the past we're gonna have another pitcher here, 1423 strikeouts, 309 ERA, a 107 WHIP. From the Cleveland Indians. At this point, unless it was a flashback, I had a pretty good idea that it was going to be Kluber. Either his live series or his flashback, for that matter, from the headliners packs. But we went ahead, brought him in from the bottom as he's handstanding in. It is Kluber, and I know I talked about the new Texas Rangers, so I'll be fortunate enough to watch him in the division next year and see how he does for the Rangers. I know they got their new ballpark, so I'm anticipating that it's still going to be a hitter-friendly ballpark, especially with how baseballs are these days. Balls are flying out of the park ridiculously, but it'll be interesting to see. I know he didn't put together a full season last year, so full season, hopefully he can get through with the Rangers this year and see how he does, in the new division that he's going to be in. Still posting that for day one or day two, whatever it happens to be, as we pull Tim Anderson there. Dude, I loved watching Tim Anderson, especially his bat flips. That dude is really, he's ecstatic at the plate. He's fun to watch as we pull out pack number 415 here. Yeah, but for next year, I'm definitely looking to pull a bunch of packs. We're going to do another Ballin' As a Habit. Got another 50 packs in for this Ballin' As a Habit. Just another, gold and silver in there. Jorge Polanco, a guy that put together a really good year last year, all-star season. As a lot of people did for the Twins. They broke the record for home runs as we pull the Babe Ruth there, that all-star card. I probably pulled that a billion times. 409. for 09. Another gold, Kenley Jansen, a guy that really fell off last year. It was incredible. And I mean, for him, the year that he had was bad, but I mean, compared to Paul Oliver Perez there, I mean, it wasn't great. I really relied, like, I wasn't a great pitcher, but I relied on my pitching to be able to keep me in games, so that way I didn't have to put together a ton of runs to have to come back as we pulled a diamond here. So we'll go ahead and continue that, but we got another diamond here. I think 5 or 6, and I know that I said that I couldn't keep consistent in the video too. Obviously, I'll go back and I'll know exactly what it is. I'll put the counter down to help you guys remember too. But we got 0 hits, 0 runs, and I mentioned that this is somebody that was a rookie this year, so somebody that didn't have stats going in here. Miller Park, I knew it was going to be Keston here. I pulled this Future Stars card a few times this year. Keston here, what a great bat he is, and it'll be exciting to see if he can put together some all-around talent. I think fielding wise, I think he struggled a little bit, but dude can definitely rake. So it'll be interesting to see as we pull two golds there, Giolito and Flaherty, and the ball is a habit, but a prospect for the Nationals, and pull Ozuna there, Roberto Ozuna. But he used to be a prospect for the Nationals, and I know when he came over to the White Sox when he first started up with the big club, he had struggled with ERA and control issues. We pulled a diamond there. I did the auto flip, but we got Kirby Yates there, another guy that had a great year. A guy that I've pulled, pretty significantly. I know he's got that 99 finest card, so he definitely the ace of that staff in Chicago. And I know that they got a bunch of additions in the offseason too. I know they picked up Yasmani Grandal, if I remember right, and I think they picked up some other, bats, other arms, Sonny Gray there. But it'll be interesting to see how they do, with all their young talent that they have. If they can put together a good season and give the Central a run for its money. But the Twins, they were the ones that won it last year. And the Twins, I know that they had lost some people too, as we pull rookie Michael Pineda there. Another great trade that the Mariners did, picking up absolute nothing in return for him to the Yankees. But yeah, for the Twins, I know that they lost a couple players, but for the most part, I mean, they still have a good young core, and I think that they'll be really successful too. And I know they picked up Nelson Cruz last year, and he had another great year, as he's the Benjamin Button of baseball, as he's, I guess, for lack of a better term, but I mean in the sense that as he's getting older, he's getting better in his career. Had all those I think 3 or 4 years, I want to say it was 4 years with the Mariners, where he was 30, into his 35, 36 upwards towards 40, and he had amazing seasons, and hopefully he can keep doing that for as long as the Twins will have him for. So we pull Kenta Maeda there. Also pack 339 now. Like I said, started with 514, and I'm going to be ending at 250, and then we'll do part 2. We'll do 250 all the way down. I know a lot of from what I was talking about, it was mostly just regarding players I was pulling, or just players, how
great success.
Oh my goodness, Nolan Arenado, 9.5K stub still. Definitely going to be selling him. Let's go. Arenado. Oh, I'm so mad that I auto flipped him. I'll have to go sell him, but Nolan, absolute monster. Twins, what a surprise team they were last year too. And a lot of what I went auto flip Acuna. What a stud. What a stud. Ronald Acuna. I can't wait to see, 5-10 years from now exactly how well his statistics are doing, where he's cementing himself in the record books. I mean, I'm not saying Mike Trout status, but he did come up pretty young. I could definitely see him putting up Mike Trout type numbers by the time he's 27, 28 like Mike Trout is. And being that I'm a Mariners fan myself, I hate the fact that we have to play Mike Trout as much as we do every year, but it's really amazing to be able to see the games that he's in, because the dude is just an absolute monster. Can't pitch to him. I mean, you can't really hit on him either, just because of how many balls that he's able to rob in the outfield with his range. I know more recently he's been actually, coming up with the arm too. So, I mean, he's just, cemented himself all the way around. I think he's, the best player that I'll ever watch for sure. But then I guess you never know. I mean, Stanton signed like a 10-year deal with the Marlins, and they were like, yeah, we're going to ship you out to New York. So, but I can't see Trout leaving the Angels. Not at this point anyway, unless it's like a situation like it was with my favorite player Felix, where they just can't ever build around him. Maybe they ship him out. I don't know. Eduardo Escobar, it's just a player he was for the Diamondbacks too. And then Ketel Marte, the former Mariner, had to go and have an outstanding year last year. I really wish they would have kept him, but if there's anything that the Mariners tell you, they don't like to retain good talent. And they also don't like to get a whole lot out of it. However, in that deal, I will give them props. They did get some, they did get a return, even if they, traded Segura pretty much just a couple years after they attained him. But I would say that trade was pretty even. Now with Marte having a good year last year, because Haniger was an all-star. Ooh, got diamond equipment, fielding glove, the Under Armour glove. Tani, if he's pitching next year, he's going to be fun to watch again. I know his rookie year was fun to watch him pitch. Hitting 9,900 miles an hour and then going out there and hitting like 20 bombs. Dude's an absolute freak of nature. We've got a universal profile nameplate. Paul Goldschmidt, David Freese, he retired too. That was definitely sad to see. And what a great player he was, helping the Cardinals win that World Series. I can never remember the year. I want to say it was like 12, 13, 14. It was one of those years in there. But he, the game 6 that he had, the game tying triples. We get another diamond equipment here. The Adidas cleats. I should probably just sell those actually. I keep forgetting to sell stuff, but that's fine. We also use Mirror 266, a couple away from that ball in as a habit. Lorenzo Cain, stud. Great outfielder, great defender. When I think of last year, I think of opening day when he robbed. I think it was Jose Martinez for the last out to win opening day. That was like probably one of my favorite plays all time from last year. Another one was that the Aaron Hicks one in that back and forth game against the Yankees, or Aaron Hicks plays for the Yankees. The one against the Twins, Yankees Twins. That was a really good game too, and the play that he made to win the game was pretty insane. Pack 259. We got here Kyle Schwarber. I'm hoping that we can pull away one more diamond player, at least by 250, for this part 1. I'm hoping. Let's go. Let's put good vibes into it, good juju, and let's get a diamond player before this is all said and done here for part 1. Ryan Stanek. We got 5 left. We got Shane Robinson, 4 left to go. 254. Dylan Moore, utility guy for the Mariners. Right, Brandon Kinsler, Twin. All right, we got Victor Reyes, and then pack 251. We'll go ahead and we'll do the slow roll here. Brian Reynolds, that's fine though. I think in total here, I want to say, like I said, 5 or 6 diamonds that we pulled. I think it was pretty successful for starting off with the first 200, 50 plus packs. I think 264 in total. But definitely, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, leave some comments down below from what you liked. I'll definitely try to get part 2 out here in the next couple days, so back to back, so you guys can see everything that we pull. But I'll see you guys next time. See ya.